Hey y'all, it's T again. I just wanted to talk today about my process of buying my first home, which I bought approximately 6 months ago. So I did make a few videos on my home buying, well, mostly on NACA because I started off, that was my plan to go with NACA, but I soon realized I'm like, saving those minimum required funds and doing the payment shock, which once again I did talk about that in one or two of the NACA videos that I posted. If anybody cares to go watch it or wanted to know anything about NACA, I use a VA loan. I did my 4 hard years of time in the United States Navy, active duty. Many moons ago, seems like. I got off active duty 2015. So yeah. Anyway, I purchased my home back in February of this year. I got pre-approved December of last year with my lender. So what drove me to apply, I knew I wanted to buy a home. I have kids. I wanted to, raise them in a house. Granted, I was in an apartment before for about 5 years. It was my home, but I knew I just wanted to buy a house for my kids. God forbid, but whenever something happens to me, whenever I go off the glory, if I still have this house, it's something that I want to be able to leave to them. But anyway, so I got pre-approved back in December. I honestly, how you put in the application and then you kind of wait, like, okay, they're going to send me a decision in the mail or something, email, whatever, after they look everything over. I filled out the application. Next thing you know, like, I submitted it and it was like, you're pre-approved for XYZ. And I'm like, what? Because I had applied for a mortgage before, like back in, I want to say September last year. But that lender, I really don't know what happened. They were all talk on Facebook, the videos that I was watching. Then once I applied, it was a whole different ball game. But anyway, so the lender that I was approved with, almost as soon as I got approved or pre-approved, somebody reached out, hey, you're pre-approved, you can go shopping now. I'm like, what? So they called me. I'm like, what does this mean? And they like, you can go shopping for a house now. It's still surreal. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I had already been looking for homes on realtor.com because I knew I wanted to buy a house at some point. So I guess doom scroll. I was just looking. And the house that I actually purchased, I didn't really like. It wasn't really like on the top of my list. I went under contract for 2 homes, the home I purchased and another home. So the first home was like a few steps from the apartment that I lived in, and we were under contract, and like the day before I would have lost, I guess, my earnest money, my lender was like, hey, this your last day, what you want to do? You sure you want to buy this house? Because you can back out now if you want to. And I'm like, okay. So this house that I bought, it wasn't really on my radar. My lender was like, hey, let's go look at this house. One time we did try to look at this house, and the owners or previous owners, they were having like something for Christmas, so we couldn't see it. Came to look at the house, I fell in love. Y'all, the lady that stayed here before, her and her husband, she had the house decorated so nice. I can't decorate to save my life, so I appreciate that kind of stuff, but I can't do it. So I'm like, I love this house. So my realtor, which my lender matched me to my realtor. I know a lot of people say get a realtor first, but I'm like, I don't really like the window shop. There's no point in me getting a realtor and I ain't pre-approved, because what we got to talk about. That's just me though. So my lender matched me with my realtor. I talked to her, and the first time I talked to her, I don't know if she knew I was pre-approved or not. But anyway, after everything came through with pre-approval, she called me and was like, hey, I heard you got pre-approved, blase. I looked at maybe 3 homes before I decided on this one. So yeah, I ain't with all that talking. And like I said, I had been looking already, so I had an idea of what I wanted. So got pre-approved, went on the contract. My closing date got pushed out because the previous owners, they had something going on because they were also trying to buy a house. So it wasn't a big deal. They paid majority of the closing costs on the house. So the first house that I was under contract for, I had to do appraisal and inspection. I got like a little slight discount because I told the guy that did the appraisal that I was a veteran. So I had to turn around and pay for another appraisal and inspection because it's a whole different house. So my lender credited me the money back for the appraisal because I ain't buy the first house, and we were like, hey, you know, what's up? Is this something y'all can do? And they were like, sure. So that worked out. And a lot of people were talking junk about the lender that I went with. If you're a veteran, you probably know who I'm talking about. And I ain't see no issue, but that's just me. I had a great experience. I know a lot of people, it's a whole lot of back and forth, but I had an awesome experience. I closed within a reasonable time frame. I got approved like December 5th. I went under contract for this particular house the end of December. Of course, it was around holidays, and I still closed, like I say, in a timely manner. I paid, like I said, the first house, appraisal and inspection. The second house, I paid appraisal and inspection again. I got my money back, credited to me at closing for the second appraisal. And then I had to pay the rest of my closing costs. So it wasn't a whole lot of money out of pocket. Of course, with the VA loan, you have the funding fee. So they added that to my loan. It's like $39.95 or something like that. So I didn't have to worry about paying that, which I think if you get like 100% disability, or if you're disabled, veteran, then you don't have to pay the funding fee. Don't quote me on that though. So what else? Closing day, I had to get a cashier's check, which I think some people do wire transfers. I was so scared that it wasn't gonna work out, y'all, so I just did a cashier's check because that was the safest thing for me to do. Ironically, during the whole process of me trying to buy a house, I wrecked my car. I didn't even have a car, but bought a house. It was crazy. It was real crazy. Like a week after I got pre-approved, I wrecked my car. It was total. I was on my lunch break at work, and I was going like around the corner, not even 5 minutes from my job, and totaled my car. I was on the same street my job was on, totaled my car. But anyway, so everything worked out how it's supposed to work out. Moral of the story. Like I said, been in my house for about 6 months now. If I would suggest anything, stack your bread, stack your bread, stack your bread, save your money up. You know, by the grace of God, I didn't have to have a down payment because it's a VA loan, and I didn't put anything down. Closing costs were very minimal because the sellers, they did like, I want to say maybe close to like 7% or something like that of the closing costs. So that went bad. Then the house I bought, it went like no outrageous price, and ain't no new construction or anything, you know, which it's just me and my 2 kids. So I didn't need like a real big house, something real modest. I love my home, you know, it's my home. But anyway, yeah, if y'all have any questions about anything, feel free to leave a comment. I closed on my house. I was scared. I know I needed a car, so I needed to apply for a car loan. But a few days after I closed, I applied and I got approved. So yeah, because one of my friends was like, hey, if you want to apply for something, you better go ahead before that house hit your credit. And so that's what I did. I think after I got approved for my house, like a few days later, I want to say like the 12th, I applied for a car loan and another credit card, and I got approved for both of them. So yeah, I think that's about it. Overall, kind of do your research. You know, I was on YouTube a whole lot when I was looking for a house, a whole lot. your experience, it ain't gonna be the same as somebody else's experience. So sometimes you just gotta jump out there, like I said, do your research. But overall, 10 out of 10. Yep. But anyway, like I said, y'all have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out, leave me a comment, subscribe, it's free. Y'all have a good one.